Hi, welcome to Aidans Railways. This episode I want to take a look at one of my models.
Hi, so today I want to have a look at a particular class of locomotive that I have two models of, and that is the War Department 280 Austerity. The one directly in front of the camera is a limited edition run of 2000, which isn't an awfully low number, but it when you put 2000 across the world, I suppose it could technically be classed as very limited. I've wanted one of these for years and years and years, and recently, and I say recently, over the last year, one became available at a very reasonable price at the local model shop, and I took the opportunity to secure it for myself. It's not the first time one's been in there, but if you don't have the money readily available, you have to put these things off, because at the end of the day, the bills come first. But I managed to get a hold of one. But prior to getting a hold of one of them, Bachmann also released recently, over the last couple of years, another Longmoor military blue War Department Austerity, which is just out of shot here, down here. Don't want to blind you all, but I managed to get a hold of that one before I got a hold of Sir Guy Williams. I have a real passion for the Longmoor Military Railway and their locomotives. And Bachmann, if you had a look at the latest RM Web polls, please try and knock up a 210 War Department Austerity. Preferably, there are two Longmoor Military Railway ones you could do, and there's also Dame Vera Lynn on the North Yorkshire Moors you could do. They are three that I would definitely be interested in if you chose to buy them. But let's take a look at Sir Guy Williams. Now, like I say, this is a second-hand purchase, but pretty much everything's there. So we've got the destructions that we normally see, we've got the guarantee, and luckily the certificate is there for this particular locomotive. So I was quite overjoyed, because these do turn up on eBay quite a lot, and well, some of the bits are often missing, and especially the certificates, if you haven't got it, if it's important to you. But I like to have those things if it is a limited run. Little envelope that came with it. So it's in a wonderful wooden case. So it's the only locomotive I've got that's got one of these, but I don't think it's going to get damaged very much in this. It's got a lovely foam inlay. But have a quick look at the tender here. Now, there might not be many of us out here that are like me, but I absolutely adore the livery from the Longmoor Military Railway. That blue with the yellow lettering and the red lining, there's something about it. It just really, really stands out for me. Now, it's got lovely steel wheels all the way down the back of the tender here. The detail on this for me is wonderful. We've got a nice NEM pocket coupling and the sprung buffers, and that was something I didn't expect. I didn't really expect to see the sprung buffers. See if I can get this to focus in a bit better. There we go. Look at that blue, it's so lovely. And the steps, we've got the steps, we've got all of the lifting irons and that. That livery is just beautiful. And there's a nice realistic coal load, which is removable. I'm not going to try doing it at the moment because I don't want to break anything. And the detail on the cab side of the tender, it's all there. Absolutely wonderful. And I was a bit worried when I first got it, because I looked and I saw this very, very, very small little nodule here, which where it attaches to the locomotive, and I thought that's surely not enough to hold the weight of a train. But it is. Whether it's meant to be that small, I'm not too sure, but I don't think it could be much bigger, because the tension bar goes straight through there. So, but I've waited a long time to get this locomotive. So I'll just put the tender down, and let's see if I can get the locomotive out without damaging it. There we go. I'm just going to move the box out of the way. Now there we go. War Department number 400, Sir Guy Williams. Now, whether or not I'm right or wrong, the the nameplate is not etched. Now, I don't know if it originally came with etched nameplates or not, but it's printed. It does appear to be separately fitted and put on, but it doesn't take away from the model at all. It's certainly not an etched nameplate, but to me the detail on this locomotive for me is staggering. All of these separately fitted pipes and handrails, the Westinghouse pump here on the front. You see there. All of the lining. I mean, there isn't a terrific amount of lining, but when you look at it on the cab there, it's so crisp. I love these blue wheels. I really do. And the motion is incredibly fine. Now, I had it running on the rolling road the other day because I gave it a bit of a service, and it's so smooth. It's so smooth. We've got the War Department 400 on the front, which is also incredibly crisp. Sprung buffers, and it's even got the lamp iron hook there on the front. Whichever look really is usable. You could easily put a headboard on there. I've chosen not to take this blue riband seal off at the moment. It will do when it goes on the track, but whether these were fitted in the box or not, I'm not too sure. Whether they were separately in the box originally, but all of this pipe work here is actually fitted on. I'm not going to try taking it off. I like it there. You know what I mean. Downside, you've got here where it would have had potentially the Vulcan works or so on, the builder's plate there, but it's just a printed diamond basically. There's no actual detail there of any real description. All of these, I mean, it's very delicate, all of this pipe work, and then the handrails here at the back. I know you can see this is probably one of the best shots I've had of inside a cab, but you can see all of the pipe works there. None of it's picked out paint wise. I personally am reluctant to try and pick it out because for years I've wanted to get a hold of one of these, and it took so long I wouldn't want to wreck it. But this is just DC. It hasn't been DCT chipped or anything like that. It's got pickups all the way along the locomotive. So, I mean, I would never have had that in the early days of my modelling, but there are pickups all the way along. Now, the only thing that isn't fitted on here is the all of the brake rigging and all that sort of thing. Now, quick note there, you can see it's number 613 there out of the 2000, and it does match the certificate, which I'm quite happy about. I'll just put this down there. Now, at the Longmoor Military Railway as well, there was another 280 Austerity. And in this case, and it's been such a big time between the two models actually being produced, I wasn't too sure that they would actually produce it. Now, unlike Sir Guy Williams there, which is why I asked the question to myself, did it originally have etched nameplates? Because, and let's see if I can get this to focus in, you can see there we have the actual nameplates to be fitted onto this locomotive. There's the backboards as well there to be used to do it. I haven't fitted them. I'm not confident enough to fit them at the moment. I would rather wait until they are definitely on a layout and it's not going to be constantly going in and out of the box. So I don't want to damage it. There's a load of spare parts here. Now that's why I asked the question to myself earlier on with Sir Guy Williams about the pipework here. It is fitted onto Sir Guy Williams. However, in this detail pack, you can actually see that the pipework's there, along with a couple of steps, brake vacuum pipes as well, are also in there. So obviously with something being second hand, they may have been fitted. Luckily, it's not damaged. So I haven't put them on. Like I said before, I won't be putting them on until I know it's out on the layout and it's not going to keep going in and out of a box. So I'll take this out if I can remember how to do it. There we go. Now, there are a few subtle differences between this locomotive and the previous one. First being, this one is very much DCC ready, and as a result we have wires between the loco and the tender, so it's pretty much fixed unless I pull that plug out, which I'm not going to do at the moment. Now, whether or not it's very noticeable, and I could make a monumental mistake here, but they are two different shades of blue. Now, I'm not entirely sure. There's not a lot in it, but they are definitely two different shades of blue. I'm not entirely sure whether, depending on when the locomotives were last painted and things like that, whether they were two shades of blue at Longmoor. But I do know that a lot of them got painted into various different colours. If you know anything about Longmoor, you don't have to know an awful lot. You'll know it was used an awful lot on for movies. The Great St. Trinian's Train Robbery. What else? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. A number of films. And locomotives were often repainted, and sometimes not to the best, but they were repainted and they were made to look like something else, even a completely different locomotive at times. The water tanks were made to look completely different and things like that. It's quite good fun to have a look on the internet and read about the Longmoor Military Railway. Anyway, going back to this model, like the other one, this actually has the sprung buffers. Now, interestingly, this was Border Bachmann 401 on Longmoor Military Railway, and it doesn't have those numbers on the side of the cab, which I have photos that I've managed to purchase and obtain where it shows 401. What it actually shows is its War Department number here. I'm going to try and focus in a bit better there for you. There we go. It shows its actual War Department running number. That doesn't take away from the model. It would have been nice if it had actually had 401 on it, but it doesn't. Now, this one has, get in there, it has actually got the brake rigging fitted to it already. So thank you, Bachmann, for actually fitting this stuff, because it's incredibly delicate, and the brake rigging is in the box for Sir Guy Williams, but it looks so incredibly delicate I didn't bother to pull it out because I didn't want it to get damaged. So unlike Sir Guy Williams, look at the cab detail in there, which has been picked out. It is painted up. It's very basic, but it does look wonderful. It does bring it all out. It's very obviously the same moulding. I'm just going to try and turn this around, although this coal load looks far more realistic than that of Sir Guy Williams. But the lining on here is much more thicker. That's all I can say. It's not as intricately, and it is slightly different. It's more noticeable on the tender here. If I bring both of them in, you can see the lining is actually different. Whether or not these were, I've got to look at some of the photos, but the thing is, some of these logos would, like I say, they were constantly repainted and things on the railway. You can see what the red on the bottom of the Sir Guy Williams tender, but we haven't on Major General McMullen's I should say, tender. I just noticed the whistle there. That's incredibly fine. I'll have to be careful of that. The motion on here is incredibly good. Now the wheel set on this is painted black. It's not blue like on Sir Guy Williams as well. So it's one of these things where I keep looking back on the internet to try and find images, and there aren't an awful lot of colour images from the Longmoor Military Railway. Most of them are black and white. but I really do love the fact that I have two of these locomotives. Now, I'm just going to lie this on its side for the moment, and I'm going to place Sir Guy Williams just above, like so. Bachmann, if you're watching, and I don't think you are, but please, 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 please listen to the RM Web poll. If you were to produce the 210.0 War Department Austerity and you were to do 600 and 601 as well as Dame Vera Lynn, I can almost guarantee you that I would be interested in those models. I don't know how many other people out there would. If you would, leave a comment, let me know. Specifically those three I would be very interested in. I know that a lot of people will be interested in the 210.0 Austerity that's currently on the North Norfolk Railway, which I believe at one point did actually carry Longmoor military colours in it during its preservation, and it had the running number 601, but it didn't have the correct number, the correct name for 601. I think it went by the name of Sturdy, as opposed to the actual name, which escapes me at the moment, of the name that was actually on it at the Longmoor Military Railway for 601. But this is one of my most favourite class of steam locomotive. A lot of people are A4, a lot of people are, you know, Terrier and things like that. But this one for me, this one's special, and I really like it. The unsung heroes of World War II, mass produced, only meant to basically run for a small period of time, just to during the war effort, and they made it right up to the last days of steam up in Scotland and in Yorkshire. So they did a lot more than they were ever expected to, and even abroad in China, Holland, Egypt, all over Europe. So there we go. I thought I'd have a look today, like I say, at what I wouldn't say it was my most favourite model, but it's definitely one of my favourite locomotives and in model form. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please ask them in the comments. If you enjoyed this, or you're like me, you're a fan of the War Department Austerity, leave a comment, let me know. If you enjoyed the video, please like it, give it a thumbs up. If you want to see more content as it's uploaded, you want to be informed, subscribe, press that bell notification, and you will get a notification every time I upload a video. I'm not going to run them on any test track today because at current filming, it's December, and Christmas decorations have come out, trees have gone up, things like that, so other stuff's had to go out of the way, and I don't really want to risk damaging the locos on the track. But until next time, thanks for watching.